This one?
No. Yeah, it just fades away. So.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
Kenesha and I are here today coming to you live because we wanted to start going live weekly. Our topic today is going to be on I Choose to Move On. So welcome to our channel. While we have you here, we wanted to say thank you to all our viewers, mainly because we enjoy sharing with you and to raise awareness for the less fortunate, the sick, also the people who are healing, as well as to raise awareness for single parents. So let's keep the conversation going by commenting below. And then we did have a question that was posed to us. That question is, what was something in your life that kept you from moving on? And after thinking about this question and doing a little research, we came up with 8 things that we wanted to talk about. But before we get started, I wanted to also have this disclaimer or mention this disclaimer out here. Everyone is welcome to our channel, especially the supporters. And we know that they are, most important. But we know that haters will stop by as well. They're also welcome. So, but if you don't want to listen to this message, then, or if you're too sensitive, then don't listen. Because our mission is to inspire others and so that they will be able to do good things. So, moving on, we wanted to talk about now the 8 things that we found that can keep you from moving on. And they are not being forgiving. Me and my life, I face this a lot because I am not a forgiving person, so I had to learn to forgive. Since I've been working on my YouTube channel, I have a friend that told me just forgive everybody who hurt you. And I'm like, how can he say that? But I was able to do that, and I'm doing much better by being able to let things go. You have anything to say on that?
Yeah, I'm also not so forgiving. I have forgiven a lot of people for my past traumas and stuff like that, and I definitely agree that that is a stuck point that a lot of us face. But just taking it day by day and at your own pace will help you.
Well, that's great, and that's inspiring as well too. Because we know that it mentions in the Bible that you have to be able to forgive so God can forgive you as well. And then when we're, living here, we have to deal with others and we have to be able to move on. So,
and you can just start off with like a small problem. And if you have a problem with someone and it's like petty, just work through that problem, work on forgiving them for that small problem, and then just gradually move up till you're comfortable.
So the next thing that we found also is depression. That includes a person not being able to get out of bed or just being at a stuck point. And we did talk about stuck points, but I think we can relate to knowing people who can't get out of bed each day and stuff. So
right, like I myself struggle with this, but then that's where the motivation will slip in and they're like, hey, you got to do this because XYZ. And I'm like, boom, okay, I'm going to do this. And then I don't end up getting back in bed because I have so much motivation.
Yeah, that's exciting. That's a lot to do and stuff. So the next thing we want to talk about is the loss of a loved one. And
sorry to interrupt, but also when it comes to not getting out of bed, sometimes you get up out of bed and then you find something that's like, oh my gosh, this is fun. And then you can get into that and that's going to keep you out of bed. Also, there's motivationals on YouTube on cleaning and stuff like that. Depression cleaning, stuff like that. And you can look at that and it'll help you if you have problems with cleaning or anything like that. And it motivates me. So in case you want to check into that.
Okay, and again, like she's saying that our channel as well has motivational videos out there, so you can check that out. Kenesha has a channel. What's the name of your channel?
It's Kenesha's Adventures.
Okay, so those are channels you can check out also. Then I'm going to get my workout exercise tips, that channel going. I also have Caroline's blog channel out there, so you can check that out and stuff. And we have a lot of inspirational videos and stuff out there that may be able to help you if you struggle with depression or something. So the next thing we want to talk about a little bit about, because we can talk a long time about this subject, and that's the loss of a loved one. When I lost my sister, I wasn't able to go up to the casket to say my goodbyes, and then I had an individual. She was like, I'll go there with you, and so she helped me. But that is like really was a traumatic day for me. And so the loss of a loved one can really get you stuck. You have anything to add to that?
I agree with that. The same day that my mom is talking about, it was a difficult day for me as well. I tried really hard to focus on the positive, and it did have me stuck for a long time. But a lot of things that kept me going were spending time with family members, and cherishing the good moments with your loved ones that you have. If you have them on videotape or if you have them in your mind, just think about the positive as much as possible.
Yeah, you can always go back and look at some fun memories and stuff. That helps you. And then also when your loved one is here, with you and stuff, you try to treat them as best as you can. Don't wait for a special day to treat them nicely and stuff. That's what I would suggest. So moving right along, also negative people, being around negative people can keep us from moving on, including ourselves. Sometimes we can do a lot of negative thinking, and we want to try to move past that and get some positive thoughts in there. You have anything to add for that?
About negative people, yes. And sometimes we could be self-defeating, or we could want to stay in the victim role. I do like to stay in the victim mode a lot. So that's something that I battle most of the time, like bi-weekly. But yeah, if you can let your positive voice speak louder than your negative voice, then you win.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. You're right about that. So we're going to move on and talk about the next thing, and that's emotions. Sometimes our emotions, if we don't get them in check and, control our emotions, then we can't win. So we want to be able to win, in that situation that comes up. I had an incident that happened to me when I was working, and I was really emotional, and I was in a leadership position. I had to call another coworker and talk to him, and he said, okay, this is what you're gonna do. Take the emotions out of it. So that was really big for me, is to learn that, hey, I'm going in there. If I break down and cry, that would have been an embarrassing moment. So I'm glad he had that information for me and that suggestion for me. Do you have anything to add for that one?
Yes, there's a lot of times where I felt emotional at inappropriate times. Like one time I was working at Subway and stuff, and someone that I didn't know was above me, or my supervisor, accused me of stealing and stuff like that. And I was like very upset because I have to eat constantly, and she was just like watching the videos and assuming that I was stealing when my boss told me that we can make food and stuff like that. So it was just very strange, but at the same time, like, I quit that job because it was a lot. She was dealing with a lot. Her mother was sick and everything, but she was taking it out on the wrong person. She wasn't trying to work through her own grief in her life. So
Yeah, I can see where that would be a big problem. And sometimes we take on other people's emotions and then we bring them forward. And so, sometimes they say that saying that hurt people hurt others. So,
Oh, and I do have another example about me having to take my emotions out of a situation. My oldest daughter was in kindergarten, and she had been being bullied. I would go with her to breakfast every morning, and I would take my infant with me to go with her to breakfast every morning for like 3 months. And one time, it was a Friday, I went with her to eat breakfast to make sure no one was bothering her. I took my infant to my mom's house, and then I went to work. While I was working, I kept getting phone calls. I couldn't answer the phone calls because my boss, who just so happened to be my neighbor, was telling us we can't answer the phone on the floor. Only floaters can, and I wasn't a floater. So basically, I was at a daycare watching other people's kids, making sure other people's kids were safe, while I was worrying about why I was getting so many phone calls. And then I had found out that everyone had pushed my daughter, and that was after work. So after work, I'm like, okay, I can finally wind down, and then boom. So my emotions were all over the place. They wouldn't let me move her out of the class where she was being bullied, and the teacher was doing nothing to stop it. And so that was, I had to just stop and make a decision to just take her out of school. It was the last 2 months of school, and just homeschool her until first grade came around. And it was difficult, and I had to move her to a different school that was a little bit further, so it was kind of difficult.
yeah, I can see as a parent how, you would worry and stuff that will really stress you out, and I'm glad you got your emotions in check with that. And sometimes, we have that supervisor, and then we kind of learn to um, move past that situation.
Exactly, and also you just have to be patient with whatever the situation is, because if you're not patient and you're just like react, 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 then it's not going to work in your favor.
Yes, most definitely. Um, we have situations that have happened. I know situations like that. So,
Right.
and so we want to move on to the last two things, and that is loss of appetite, um, and also binge eating. One opposite of the other. So, when when you're at a stuck point, that tends to be a problem for you. So you want to make sure that you're not stressed, or if you need to seek help, you seek help, especially binge eating or loss of appetite, because they can result in other issues, problems, stressors. You have anything to add?
Yes, a couple of times I felt like very depressed, like in my relationships, and I've had loss of appetite as well as binge eating. Binge eating has actually landed me in the hospital, because it's led to a big spike and drop in my blood sugar. And then I dealt with loss of appetite where I wouldn't eat for days, not just because of my relationship status, but also personal loss has stopped me from eating for weeks at a time. So if you need to just like seek help, or you need to talk to someone, there are a lot of hotlines as far as and I've actually went to some of these. There's crisis hotlines out there, and stuff like that can talk you through stuff. Or if you want to leave a comment, you can reach out to me personally if you want to, and we could just go over that if you're feeling any of these topics that we just talked about right now. So that's just something I wanted to say.
Well, thank you so very much. That was so great. And yes, leave a comment below. And especially if you need help or anything, just reach out personally, and then we'll get back with you. The stuff we wanted to conclude this live and say that success or failure ultimately depends on our self-reflection, our self-awareness. Like, you really have to know yourself, and continue to give self-love, also self-improvement. It's like Kenesha was saying earlier, that she found things to do and stuff to keep herself busy, and so being productive and stuff, that really helps us too. and not entirely, you know, blaming our friends and our family and our exes and other relatives. Just like try to figure out how you can fix the situation and stuff and be able to move on. So
another thing, if you're having problems with bouts of insomnia, you can check out Caroline's channel to listen to some music at night, you know, when you're getting ready for bed. Include that in your bedtime routine if you want. If you want to make some tea, if you're having trouble staying asleep, then there's also natural melatonin. You don't always have to like take more intense drugs or things like that to get you to go to sleep, and just or take a shower, anything to relax your muscles and stuff like that.
yeah, that's and the workout routine, we have the 90-day challenge going on, so that's going to help you. And also then, like Kenesha was saying about the music, we have the meditation music. Hamza shares meditation, so check those out. There's lots there for you, different kinds of ambient sounds and relaxing music, cozy music as well. So
yeah, and just hearing some of the like tips and stuff from Hamza, I don't know, it's something about Hamza that just brings out the positive. So if you can't find anything from all of these things that we've suggested, think about some things that Hamza has said.
oh, and you'll find those in the motivationals, and we will come back and we'll talk to you soon. Bye now.
Bye. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.